how's it going? How's everyone doing? We're back again, me and Kevin, and this is episode 53. It's been a hot minute, but we're back again.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
We are talking about a pretty cool thing we stumbled upon. It's called the DDR Kit Car, and we're going to do a deep dive into it and look at what it's all about. But first, we got rapid fire news segment.
Of course.
So, news was released about this brand new car that Brabus just built, and they always do these like crazy ass projects, just blow the car community. And this time they took.
Hold on, they blow the car community?
Yeah, they just like. They just blow people's minds. They like push the boundaries. And this time, this is dope. I'm not like. I mean, I love Brabus.
Yeah.
But this is insane. So they took the new. I think it's the SL, like the coupe.
Yeah.
That replaced the AMG GT. And they did a clown shoe version, which we talked about, the Z4, right? Remember?
Yep.
It was like the coupe that's never going to get built because it was too nice. Now Brabus did it, but now it's unattainable because they priced it at $1 million.
I even saw it was like €1 million, so maybe it's even more than that. It's insane, but this thing looks so good. Like, It looks like an RS6 that's just like perfected in a way. Like, it has, again, like you said, that clown shoe look, so it has that kind of Ferrari FF or GTC Forluso look, but it looks so good. Like, the example we were looking at had these kind of like futuristic wheels too.
Yeah.
So it looks sweet.
Yeah, and it's 1,000 horsepower, same power plant as everything else, and they don't have like how many they're gonna build yet. I'm assuming it's either gonna be 10 or 25. They usually do 10 special editions, like we've seen with the G-Wagon, the CLS, and all the other ones. So pretty cool. I love clown shoe cars like the Z3M and the Z4 that we've seen. Those are cool. So yeah,
if you break it down, $1 million, let's say, for this example, and 1,000 horsepower, that means you're paying $1,000 per horsepower.
Yeah,
pricey.
It's ridiculous because really, like, it's just they took a car and like added a hatch, but Brabus is well known. It's a big staple in the car community, so they can charge those prices.
Exactly. They're kind of like that luxury tuning brand that's like got their crazy kits. It's kind of like Novatec is turning out for Ferrari.
Yeah.
It's going pretty crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But now, the main topic.
The good stuff.
So this company is called DDR, and the kit car they make is called the Grulon.
Wait, do you know what DDR stands for?
I looked it up and I forgot.
I was going to say something, but I won't for the sake of this podcast, but daily driven,
Yes.
That'd be great. I think that's a great alternative name.
Yeah.
That's beside the point, but the Grulon, is this French?
No, it's an American company.
Oh.
So I don't...
some French influence or something.
Yeah, there's a funny character on the O.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious how this is pronounced, but we'll call it Grulon for now.
Yeah, so they have 3 different models. They have the GT8, GT8 SS, and the GT4. And essentially the concept is you take a donor car, they send you every single part needed to build your car from scratch, except for the engine, transmission, and all that. So it's just a frame, a body kit, the seating and all that, the tube,
Wait,
chassis.
By frame, do you mean like chassis or?
Yeah, so okay. Chassis, and I think there's a roll cage as well aspect to it.
There's just the whole shell essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not built though, so it's all just raw metal pieces sent to you. They do all the engineering, so like cutting angles and grinding and all that. It's just ready to be welded together.
Okay.
And then the idea is you get all that, you get a donor car. So let's, for this example, use the Corvette C8. It doesn't have to be
C5, right?
C5, yeah. My bad. You don't have to get like a good example. It could be like crashed because you don't care about the body. You're just gonna use the dash, the wiring harness, the engine, transmission, axles, essentially all the mechanical components. You're going to transfer that into the shell, and then you build it, and then you have yourself a car.
It's kind of a cool idea, I must admit, because I feel like that's probably the hardest part if you want to build something from scratch. Like, either you have to find a good, like, in good shape body of a car that's completely stripped of everything, or you're kind of left taking different pieces from different cars and making it look kind of botched. So I feel like this is kind of cool because you can still use whatever engine. Well, I guess you're limited to the 3 models for now, but I mean, you can make anything fit if you wanted to. So you could put like a bigger engine in it if you want to, but
yeah, even then, like, realistically, as long as the engine fits within the frame and all the dimensions kind of work out, you can do any engine swap.
It's a good point, yeah. 'Cause I mean, like, even our friends from school, they did the, what's the car called again? They did the V10 swap, the RX-7.
RX-7, yeah.
Yes, they put a Viper V10 in an RX-7. Be cool to have him on at some point. Be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it goes to show, like, those small cars can, be made into whatever you want, because that engine is massive. Like, it's 8.2 liter, I think.
Yeah.
The thing is, it fits perfectly in there. I mean, obviously they had to do a lot of retrofitting, but it did end up working.
Yeah, they had to shave the engine bay a lot to actually get it to fit. But yeah, props to them for doing that.
Yeah, it's a huge engine, so.
But yeah, so this car, or this kit, is pretty well, I want to say simple. Like, the figuring out things has been done. Like, you have a guide, you have everything cut. It's just a lot of manual labor. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of welding, a lot of putting pieces together. But I feel like a lot of the heavy lifting has been done. And the craziest part to me is you buy the kit for it for $21,000. That's
pretty good.
That's really cheap, because I mean, it sounds expensive for just metal, but like, find a rear engine shell and in good shape that's brand new and has like structural components and is a sports car for $21,000. I think that would be impossible.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, if you have any kind of mechanical know-how, or someone, a friend that can weld pretty well, like, you're in good shape. All you really need is a good engine, transmission, and, like you said, like a wiring harness and dash. Yeah. But if you already have a donor car, like, you're chilling. Like, say if you have a C5 that you crash or something and everything's still in good shape, it was like a rear end collision, but it's a write-off. This is an awesome solution, because it's only going to cost you $20,000. You're going to have a brand new, I mean, it's not going to be the same as a Corvette, but it's going to look pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I feel like the C5s are very outdated. Like, definitely. They can look nice. I like the Z06, but it's not a modern car. But with this, it looks like a modern car. We'll pop pictures up, but it looks nice, and I feel like it's a way to repurpose a good engine and good, like, performance package into something that looks modern and I would say exotic. Like, this looks exotic.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the design really quick, because I mean, we were talking kind of off camera before about how it definitely has some McLaren F1 influence, and that's kind of really cool to see because it's such an iconic car. But also, like, some Ferrari, like the headlights on some of the models look like the Enzo headlights a little bit, like those little pinpoints. So definitely a lot of, like, inspiration from different places, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so apparently the backstory is the founder loves the McLaren F1, but as we know, it's unattainable. Like, a small percentage of the population can afford one and find one for sale.
That's a good point.
And at this point, they're so rare, they're so expensive that they're never going to leave collections. They're just going to stay hidden.
Yeah.
So it's a shame to just put this technology and this beautiful car away. So he decided to create something similar that's more attainable. And you can see, like, from the rear end, it looks like the F1. Same with the front. It even down to, like, the doors, the way they open. It's like butterfly doors, just like the F1. It's got a roof scoop. It's got everything. So it takes a lot of inspiration from it. And I think it looks nice because obviously it's inspired from one of the nicest cars. So
exactly. I mean, you can't complain. Like, especially if you're going from a Corvette to, having an F1. It's pretty cool. It's interesting. Like, I'm curious how they came to decide on what cars to provide kits for? Because it seems like kind of a random selection. Because the other two, do you want to tell the audience what the other two are? I don't know if we already said it or not.
Yeah, but I mean, so there's a C5 Corvette, which it's LS powered. The Chevy Impala SS, also LS powered. And then an MR2, which is kind of weird because I feel like the C5 is also an old car, but the MR2 is really old, and I feel like there's almost like a cult following behind it. Like, don't touch the MR2s because they're almost, I feel like, starting to have a cult following and appreciating value.
Yeah.
So I don't see anyone cutting up an MR2 unless it's like, I know there's a lot of rusting issues, so unless the chassis is completely rusted out.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm curious if they base this on customer demand or if it's just based on, what cars have like historically been written off the most, but they still have good engines or something like that. Like, I'm curious what their development or business development team decided on why to do these three models. But I mean, I'm guessing they'll probably have more models in the future that are supported.
Yeah, probably. This is good coverage. Like, a lot of these cars are pretty cheap. Like, you can get a C5 for pretty cheap. We'll get into the cost breakdown a bit later. But one thing I find fascinating is because you can use the LS power plant. As we know, LS is like reliable, like bulletproof, and you can get a lot of power with very few modifications. So not only can you build this car stock, like keep the LS stock and have a pretty good, kit car, but you can also like go balls to the wall and put 800 or 1,000 horsepower in this thing and just build a beast.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like creative freedom, which is
true.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show like some of those Corvettes have so many miles and get abused and brought to takeovers and stuff like that. So that lasts forever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Coyote.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll probably make one for that eventually.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see like a Mustang platform. So now let's talk about the platform. So it's rear engine, which is probably the best way to use an LS, for sure, honestly, and because that's what the new C8 Corvette is. It's rear engine, and then the frame is steel. It's all measured, all cut for you, so you just have to assemble it, follow instructions. The parts, so there's add-ons essentially to the kit. So if you want a custom dash or custom wheels for them from the company DDR, you can work with them and have add-ons, kind of just like any other experience.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can customize your own thing. It comes with instructions, and the body is made out of fiberglass, so super light. And
I think it's gonna be a rocket, probably.
Yeah, that's the nice part. Like, you can, because you have so much control, you can do racing seats, you can do, really light wheels, you can do lighter chassis or lighter transmission, and like you can really strip this thing down.
For sure.
If you want a big wing for more aerodynamics, you can build that on. So it's complete creative freedom, which is so cool. Yeah,
and I think what would be even cooler to see is like what Audi did with the space frame, the aluminum space frame. So it's like to have an aluminum frame eventually. So that would shave off even more weight, and then it'd be pretty crazy what you could achieve with that. It'd probably be like a 1-to-1 at some point.
Yeah, that might get a bit more expensive though.
For sure, yeah. But again, they can probably branch out quite a bit with this.
Yeah. So now I want to dive into the costs. You want to go through these?
Yeah, sure. So again, like we talked about, 21,000 roughly for the kit. Can go up as high as 28,000, right?
Yeah. So that's for the race version, with the big wing and the canards, and I think it's carbon fiber. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, there's a bit of a range there, but still not bad, even with that. We're estimating about 25,000 as of this posting of like a C5, roughly what you can get one for secondhand. An additional 5,000 for parts we've allocated. So this is for all the dings and
something's
bells and whistles. And yeah, exactly. Like you need probably some wiring, or you need some part for the engine that's gonna end up breaking or not fitting or whatever. And then 3,000 for paint. That's a big one because paint is going to change everything. Yeah. So I'm curious, actually, do the panels come unpainted? You just have to paint them? Okay. So you need like a spot to do that too. So you do need a bit of...
Yeah, like you could probably get away with doing a lot yourself. Paint is probably the one you don't want to do yourself, because...
Unless you have like a shop or like a garage with plastic.
Yeah, because like one speck of dust and...
Yeah, it's done. Yeah, exactly. No, that's a good point. Plus you need like 9 coats or whatever in a clear coat, so it's pretty intensive. So, I mean, even all that considered, you're looking at about 55,000 US. And yeah, I mean, this thing looks like an F1. We already talked about this. And it looks, especially that race version, you're probably sitting at around 60, but like if you get a low mileage C5, like it's an amazing car to have. Again, depends on your taste too. I feel like some people who own Corvettes wouldn't want something that looks like this. So again, it depends on the audience. But again, if you're looking to transplant this and build a supercar, like this is a fantastic way to do it, I think.
Yeah. And there's also the option, obviously, to go with a shop. So if you don't want to do all the welding and all that, I don't know, like labor, it's hard to estimate, maybe 10 to 15,000 on top of that. But you're still, like, I would love to see how well it performs. Like, you know, one built with decent amount of horsepower and put it up against, I don't know, an Audi R8 or something and see how well it performs. Because even if you get a shop and put power mods, you're probably sitting below 80,000.
For sure. Yeah. And I mean, you can't even get a used Audi R8 for that price. Yeah. So it's pretty nuts to think about. But yeah, I'm really curious, like, what's going to happen. Like, is this a pretty new thing?
It's been around for a few years. They actually have like a customer page or build series on their website. You can see like how many builds there's been.
That's pretty cool.
There's quite a few. And I feel like it's definitely something niche and something, it's very intensive. So, you know, if someone has 80,000 and they just want a car quick, then it's obviously you go to a dealership and just buy something. This is very intensive, very long process. So probably not a lot of people are willing to put up with that. But I feel like the result is like, this is your vision. Exactly. You build this thing.
But it's only like... The thing is too, like there's a lot of room for customization too. Because sure, you think, you know, kit car, every car's gonna look the same, but that's not even close to the case, because you have the options for, you know, like even like what you said, like in like even like headlights, taillights, whatever. You could change the color. You could change, you know, you could put carbon fiber panels on it. You could put a different wing on it. Like you can make the whole car completely customized, even wheels, stuff like that. Yeah. You can make it look completely different than a different version of that car. And that's kind of the cool part too. If you're not someone who's, you know, looking to piece together an entire car, which would take years anyways, this is a pretty cool way to do it. Like I could see my youngest brother doing this.
Yeah.
Because he's like getting into mechanics and stuff. He doesn't have a ton of money. So to buy a kit like this, and he's got a C5 Corvette actually.
There you go.
There you go.
That's his
way to go.
Christmas present there. Yeah. And one thing I found fascinating is there's obviously a big culture of time attack car builds, and you know you want something light that's very grippy and also pretty aerodynamic, and some people are starting to use these kit cars to build like really badass time attack cars. Because well, I mean, it's a 2-door rear engine, rear wheel drive, and it's pretty low to the ground, pretty good like slip.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a pretty affordable way to get into it without having to buy a car, cut it up, and spend a bunch of money building a roll cage and all that. Because you're just building this.
It's a good point. Yeah, I mean, even the fact that it comes with a roll cage is huge. Because even just building that into an existing car is expensive. So I mean, you're starting out right away with having that. So yeah, nice, cool. Anything else?
No, I'd love to hear what the audience thinks of this. I like stumbled upon it. I was like, wow, like mind blowing.
Yeah, I'm looking at these photos and this thing looks incredible. I love the variations too, and like seeing what people come up with. It's very interesting. So I mean, it'd be really cool if we could see, you know, like a car show for these at some point, or people bring them like worldwide somewhere in the States, and they have like 60 of them, and you can see all the different variations and view them.
Most of them are in the U.S. Unfortunately, I did not see one that was sent to Canada, but maybe. At some point,
be cool.
We'll show
or even if we can go down there and see them.
Sure.
Who knows? All right, guys. Let us know what you think, by the way. Do you guys like these kit cars? Would you buy one? Or would you simply try to rebuild it or get a new car instead? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
All right. I guess to see you guys next time.
Peace.
Goodbye.